Okay, YouTube. This is my rabbit lawn tractors, just kind of one different version of them. Don't judge me on my videos. I'm not trying to win any Emmys. I'm just trying to help people out. So hopefully this gives you a good idea. This is what I've done, and it really works well for me. Uh, so this is 2-inch hole wire. You can see it's fairly big. It's 2-inch hole wire. It's fairly big wire, but it's 11 gauge, so it's sturdy. So I mean, I can step on it, kind of stuff. Like, it's sturdy. But what I've done is it's 1 foot by 4 feet across, because it comes in 4 foot wide or 4 foot tall panel or rolls, and then I've made it 8 feet long this way, and I've done it completely encased all the way around. And so what I've done is, I don't know if you can see, but right here I've cut a door in it, so then I can put multiples of these together and make a big long rabbit tractor all the way along my grass. And I'll explain why I did it, how I did it there. But you can see here, and I've got my rabbits captured in this one, but you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them all together, and I just got them stretched out, but I got them all caught right here. And I'll kind of go over like my little catcher and then this different cage here. So this one I really like. I mean, I like both of them. So I got the smaller version that's 1 foot tall, and then this one is 2 feet tall. And I'll kind of go over why I have 2 different styles. But once they get bigger, I definitely like these cages better. They're easier to move, faster to move. But these cages are perfect for fresh babies, like just coming off of mom. So they're 2 feet tall. So they're 2 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and then I've ran this little piece here across the end of each end here, all the way from here across. So then I've got like a little lip, and I cut the edge piece. This piece here, I cut the, instead of 2 feet tall, it's 2 feet 10 inches, or it's 1 foot 10 inches. So it's not quite 2 feet, because I wanted 2 inches on the top. So I had that little lip. I'll show you on this one here. So like my plywood, so then I can get a sheet of plywood. Move my little board. So I can get a sheet of plywood, and it just fits right in there. Kind of snug. I got to shave the end a little bit for it to fit in there, but then it fits just right in there and just stays in there. And I put a piece of board, I just cut a little piece of board right here and go in the middle to keep it from bowing in the middle. I hope I'm not moving too much to make you guys like motion sickness. But that way I can give them shade. But I don't need to shade a whole bunch of it. I only cover this cage. I don't cover the rest of them. Like, I leave this one open and leave that one open. And surprisingly, I've tested it out. I don't know if other people have any problems, but that's why I put wire like in the corners, but nothing in the middle. Like a dog or something could jump in here if you have problems with dogs. But they crawl up this corner and they hit that lip and then they stop. So they don't really bother with this middle section. So they don't really have a problem with that one. But the reason I like these cages better is I've made it so I could move them with the rabbits inside. So I've got it blocked off like that, and then I can lift. So this back end here, what I've done is it's 2-inch hold wire, but then on this edge here, I've done the smaller wire, and I've done it 2 inches from the bottom. So you can see how this wire is 2 inches from the bottom, and I put a piece here to reinforce it so it wouldn't bow on this side. But then the wire is 2 inches, so this 1/4 inch hole wire is 2 inches from the bottom. And the reason for that, like this one here, so I got my door right here that I could butt it up to another one and make a big long one. But then I can stand this thing up and I can drag it. So I can stand it up just like that. So I got my door here, so all my rabbits get caught right down here in the bottom. So they get caught right here down in the bottom, and because I got that 1/4 inch wire down there, I can now grab this thing and drag it, and I don't have to worry about catching rabbits' feet or anything like that. And it works great for moving them around. I really like it. And then like this cage, I've got it all open, and I've got my hole on that end and a hole on this end. I got it blocked off because I just caught everything that was in here and moved it. But I like this cage in here especially if I got babies. So I could take my little catcher and I can move it around and I can fan all the babies over and fan them into a cage and catch them really easy, or get in here and catch them really easy because it's a nice little spot to like kind of catch them. But to keep it so I don't have babies just walk out, because if they're just weaned off their mom, they can fit their whole body through this hole. So then I run chicken wire from the bottom of the cage and I do 18 inches up. And I've only got 4 of these cages like this, just because once they get big enough and they can't fit through the 2-inch holes, then everything goes in these other cages here. But everybody's going to ask me how I get rabbits out of here. So I tip it up on the side like this, and then I've cut a door. Not this one doesn't have a door, but I've cut a door like right here. So when I tip it up like this, I can grab it from this end and I can tip it up on its end and I can get to them on the door. And I can show you on this cage here. This one it's a catcher cage. So after I've tipped it on its side, then I got this door right here that I can tip them up on and I can catch the rabbits. So I tip it up on this end and then I tip it up this way, and I've got this door right here. So then the rabbits are all right here in this 4-foot section, and I got this door right here and I can just catch them in here. Or I push them into a cage like this and then I can easily catch them into there. They're pretty easy to catch. Like these rabbits here, I just show up and they kind of, like if I run to this one edge, like I just had to move them. You can see they were just right here, and so I just moved them over a couple days ago. And when they're running out of feed, if I walk down to this one, they'll all run to this cage here and I can just hurry and tip it up, and the wood piece here just stays in the slat. I'll kind of go over how I made that if I need to, but here I can just lift it up. You can see the rabbits. Come on, come on. So then just all go down to the bottom like that. And then after I tip it like this, I'll grab it from this end and tip it up. And so then this end's on the ground. And then I've got that door on the other side. Or I can take this thing and feed it in down here, and I can slowly work them over to this corner, keeping it just how it is. And then my door is just right here on that other side. But it's super easy to drag, so I can grab it. I know it's probably terrible on the video to see it, but you can easily drag it. So then I can move my rabbits super easy. And I don't have to worry about catching them all the time. And this little wood piece just stays right there. My problem was when I moved rabbit tractors, I was breaking rabbits' legs all the time, or snagging their legs and getting in trouble, so I wanted to avoid that. And I just put it up like that, and I can move these. It takes me less than 10 minutes, and I can have 5 of these in a section. So it's super easy, super slick, so I can have a big row of them. I've got another rabbit tractor that I'll kind of show you. I got 2 different versions, so I really like these for grass and stuff. And you can see here, like I can move it over and move it down that last strip. Like I just mowed over there, but I can move it down this last strip and eat all that stuff. I got one more rabbit tractor / panels, and I'll make another video for that. So just watch out for that. But this is my lawn tractors. This is what I like, and I just cover this section. And I only cover one section. I leave that open. It's pretty straightforward. That's kind of how I did it. But the rabbits can run. They can run from this cage. They got the holes there all the way down, and they can just run. So they got a huge section of grass, and I can leave them in there for about 4 or 5 days easy. You can see here, this cage is just tipped up right. Stays like that. So this is the top, and then this is the bottom, but I can flip it either way. And I put the hole closer to one end, so when I stand it up, the rabbits, so I did the hole up this high because I didn't want the hole down here, because I didn't want the rabbits, when I tipped it up like this, I didn't want them to be able to run out. So that's why the hole's up higher like this, so when I tip it up, then the hole's up here and they won't run out. And I've cut a hole on both ends on this one because this is a pass-through one, so you got a hole on the other end. I do have like end cap ones that only have holes on one side, but if I got holes on both sides and I want to just put like a couple of rabbits, all I have to do is just shift the cage over and butt it up against this thing and just block the hole, so I don't have to deal with doors or anything like that. These wood slats, how I did that, got a piece of board over here. So how I did this is I just set this thing right here and I just marked it where all the 2-inch members are, just going down marking them. And so then I marked them, and then I went over with a 45-degree angle and just drew a line. So I went over like a 1/4 inch. So then you can see here, you can see my chalk. So I just went over a 1/4 inch and I did 2 boards, and I just did, like this one I have 3. This is an end cap one, so I did 4. I did 3 screws in that, so then it just stays in its spot, and so then I can have these boards here and I made them 2 inches tall, so they were long enough to fit in these taller ones and long enough to fit in those other ones. But it only took me a couple of minutes to throw these things together. This cage here, I don't know if I said already or not, I cut 2 inches off of so it's the bottom piece I bend. So this piece here is 9 feet 10 inches, and I cut 2 feet. So I make the edge, I make this edge a foot, and then this edge is 7 feet 10 inches because I cut 2 inches off of it, so that it's 7 feet 10 inches. So then the top piece here, and I'll explain why I did that, because the top piece, because I used the ends and wire tie them together, and you need to do that because you cut the side pieces here, they're 4 feet wide, so then you cut them an inch or a foot tall, and if you don't cut it down to 7 feet 10 inches, then you won't have enough here to tie it together. So like here, my little piece I got out for you, so you can either cut it right down the middle like this one, or sometimes you cut it and you've got one side shorter than the other. So that's why I cut this top piece. I cut this top piece down. So this top piece I have to cut so I've got the little tails on the end are long and not short, so I can use them to tie into each other, if I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. And then I tie these around to each other, and then it's secure like this. Basically this cage holds itself together. And then the hole here, what I like to do is, you can kind of see here on the top, I've cut this thing and then I've folded it around because the rabbits run right here and I don't want any sharp pokey things right here for them to catch on. The bottom I didn't do that, and I had to shave them down and kind of file them down so they don't have anything to catch, but you want to be able to run your hand right here and not be able to catch anything. But these side pieces, it's really hard to do, so I just cut them in the middle and then just fold them down, so they just look like that around the top and the side. And so then you can just lay it down, and you got the edge where you can't catch their feet. Okay, that's one version of my rabbit tractor, and I can move these all over my yard. They're super easy. I like these ones for babies. That's what I like, and I only have a couple of these. I only have 4 of these total, and then I have a bunch of these. I have probably about 12 or 14 of these, and I really like them because it makes moving my rabbits around the yard super fast. And I can have a super long cage, or I can have a bunch of little cages. Like I can butt 2 of these up together really quick and, you know, have 16 feet, or I can have, you know, 30 feet if I get enough of them together. But you can kind of see here, you can see this is a section where they were just at, you know, a couple weeks ago, and then I just mowed everything with my grass. I missed this mow strip because these things are odd shaped from my other ones, so when I have them together, I have sections where I miss. So I've got my miss section here, and then you can see where they mowed it all down right there. But they've got all this. So basically I've been feeding my rabbits for the past month and a half, and I've had 4 groups of rabbits, and they've each got about 10 to 13 in here, and they've just been feeding all the way down this mow strip all the way down to there, and I've moved them over here, but I just moved them into the back area where I've got hay and alfalfa, and I need taller panels for that. So I'll make a video of those panels so you can kind of see my panels and see my other version of my lawn tractor. And I really like those too. I like both of them, and I kind of flip back and forth of which one I like better. But I'll show you those so you can kind of see.